This election is we either make it or we end off to the third world. That's how critical I believe it is. And that's why I argue that this government's got to go, but the next government's got to be a whole lot better than this one.
If you were in Parliament in 2021, when the Prime Minister went back on a promise that there would be no coercion, no mandates, would you have voted and pushed back against that if you had still been part of that government?
Look, I pushed back before that. I pushed back when she and Bloomfield said that COVID had come from America or Australia. 2021 came along. Of course, I wasn't there. But the point was, they locked down the South Island without one case. They locked down Northern without a case. I'll do everything I possibly can to have the right people on inquiry, with the right terms of an inquiry that's not run by politicians, all of whom are horribly compromised by their mistakes in the past. And so that people, when the inquiry is over, can trust the outcome. But you want people coming from no background of compulsion, no background where they're compromised, people who can be neutral and honest with the outcome. And then I'm certain what the inquiry will say.
If you have your way, will it include things such as the safety and the efficacy of the vaccine?
Oh, well, most definitely, because that's what every parliament is starting to do now, and every democracy is starting to do now.
So you want to know how many people have been injured by the vaccine, how many people may or may not have died from the vaccine? Do you believe that people have been seriously hurt by the vaccine?
I don't believe it. I know it because it's a scientific fact. I know people who've got relations who died within an hour of being vaccinated. So let's not have this rabbit hole and conspiracy theorist stuff. I'm saying to the people who argue otherwise, you show me any empirical evidence to back up what you're saying now, and they can't.
So we've got this issue of, what's it, RSE, relationship and sexuality education in schools. It is something that worries a heck of a lot of parents in this country. Do you think it should be done away with completely in schools, or is sex education something that schools should be involved in a little bit?
Well, the rudimentaries has always been in our schools, but this is something different. This is social engineering and indoctrination. And we're going back to education and getting rid of the indoctrination that was never mandated by any voter in this country.
Do you think it is that big a deal in New Zealand in 2023?
It's not what I think. It's what girls and women think about their security. And if we don't think that they've got a right to a safe society like everybody else, then we're just being gender biased in the extreme. If you by birth biologically favoured in a sport because of your gender against another gender, then that's cheating. It's wrong, and we're against it. This election is we either make it or we end off to the third world. That's how critical I believe it is. And that's why I argue that this government's got to go, but the next government's got to be a whole lot better than this one.